Hello, hello, hello out there. How's everybody doing? Is everybody's favorite conservative in New York, Christopher Wright, here to present you with another of my infamous walk and talk videos. Of course, remember, if you enjoy the content, to like and subscribe, and that would be appreciated. Before I begin, I just want to start out by giving people a heads up. I just started a new webpage. It's www.christopherwrightnyc.com, and that's Wright with a W. So go check it out. I'll be posting a lot of my blog. Start blogging, so I'm gonna be blogging on that site. Start podcasting soon, so I'm gonna be podcasting on that site as well. And also, a lot of people are reaching out to me asking how they can donate to what I'm doing in my cause when it comes to the group I founded here in New York, Conservative Republican Alliance, the CRA. And also just, me buying all the equipment for my podcast and everything like that soon. How can they just help out in the cause? And you can go to my webpage, and if you go to the homepage, the main page, and scroll down, you'll see a donate button, and that donates to my PayPal for future reference for those out there who are curious. But with that said, let me go on to the topic and the whole reason I'm doing this video, and that is the Black conservatives versus Black liberals debate we had here in the city in Brooklyn. And first and foremost, I just want to give a quick shout out to Vice, man, and a little credit for them, because for a leftist news network, for them to give us this opportunity says a lot. And also, it's something that needs to be done, I think, on both sides, to allow, if you're a conservative, you're a liberal, whatever news you watch, you need to hear from the other side. Because I think the best way to move the country forward is discussion and opening it up, and just, letting both sides say what they have to say. And a lot of times I think they'll realize they have more in common than they really believe. We're all human beings at the end of the day. So thanks to Vice and the gentleman that moderated, Brent Whiteside, his name, Brent Whiteside. Yeah, he's the one who's the moderator, and he's the one to reach out to all of us to get us all together for this event. So first, let me start out by the first version they released. The debate was about 45 minutes to an hour long. It was up there. And when they released the first video, it was about 7 minutes long. And I'll post a link to the description to both the shorter version, and they did an extended version, and also the documentary that they did on the YBLS, because we got invited there right after YBLS. And, I thought the debate went well. If you ask me honestly, conservatives, we held it down. We represented, and we beat them. If you asked, when it came to facts and laying out the facts, man, and the truth, we came with it, man. And it was, gentleman Rob Smith that was there. I'm sure you guys might be familiar with him. He was he's a Black conservative Marine veteran, homosexual, as well. But he's well known out there in the internet sphere. So he was there along with the gentleman Fernando Acosta. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. And Bevelin Beatty was there as well. So we were the 4 conservatives representing the right, and they had 5 liberals there. Don't ask me to remember all the names. But, it was, like I said, it was a good debate. But, we just kept, when it came to watch it, you'll see that, as on the left, man, a lot of them were doing the victimhood mentality. They were, oppression this, I'm oppressed this, and life is so hard, and all that stuff, man. And, white people this, white people are blamed to that. All that stuff like that. And speaking on that subject, I know some of you guys are watching and you're thinking, Chris, why did they have to do a Black debate? Why couldn't they have, it's New York City, very diverse. Should have everybody there. I agree. I totally agree with that. But the issue that I have, being a Black man in America, and you guys know I don't talk about race too often, because, as I said, I got the content and character mentality. So that's what's important to me, is who you are, not which on the exterior, it's the interior. So, but they need to debate for Black liberals and Black conservatives, because in this country, those who know the statistics, we vote about 96 to 98% Democrat as a Black community. And that's a problem. I don't care what community you're in. I don't care if you're Hispanic, Asian, Black, white. It doesn't matter. If your community votes that much for either side, Republicans or Democrats, that's an issue. That's an issue because, as you know, with politicians, that leaves room for manipulation, for lies, for slander, for, race ideology, just so much that allows a party to do to a community that they know has their vote. Fear tactics, all that stuff like that. They use all of that because they know they get the Blacks vote every 2 to 4 years. And that's what the whole thing with BLEXIT's all about. That's a very important movement, because the Black community needs to wake up, man. and realize that the Democratic Party does not have our best interests at heart. They do policies that are made to keep you down and never able to get out and get up from the ground and get up and move on and build a community and build your personal life and your household and family. They don't, you know, they're not based on that, man. Because they want you to struggle, because they know if you're struggling that you're going to come to them with the, you know, begging, like, please help me. So that's where they got the black community at, in my opinion. And if you look at the black community back in the 50s, 40s, that era, you know, they are very united. Family was very important. You know, the Christian church was huge in the black community. It still is big, but it was a lot more of a movement back then. So what changed from back then to back to right now is Democrats. We started voting on the left. We started voting Democrat. And now we're having all these issues in the black community when it comes to black and black murder, you know, Planned Parenthoods being literally in more inner cities than anywhere in the country. The list goes on. And, you know, so we need to have this conversation, because it's what the black community needs more than anything right now when it comes to politics is discussion. They need to open up the discussion floor, let people know things they have to say, and let people realize, you know, it's okay if you decide to be conservative. You don't have to turn your black card in. You're not turning your back on your people. Nothing crazy like that. So that's why I feel that this needed to be done in a way. And I know some of you people reach out to me as well. Some of you people of white descent, they reach out to me, and you guys love my videos. You love my message. You love what I have to say. And you say to me, Chris, man, you say a lot of things that I think and I believe, but if I went somewhere and spoke with a group of black people and said what you said, man, I'll get jumped, I'll get beat up or whatever, something crazy might happen to me, cuss me out or whatever, which is a lot of times unfortunately true. And I know that, but I just want to present the truth, and that's what I'm doing. And because of the way the media and the left has pushed identity politics so much in the black community, that unfortunately, when the truth comes out that doesn't fit the narrative, the only person that can really present the truth to the community is somebody who's black. That's, you know, within the community. And I think that will go for any race. You know, if you guys are in the same, if other races were in the same shoes as the black community, you know, if they had to get woken up, they would want somebody that kind of looks like them to deliver that message, because they can feel they can relate. So, like I said, this debate was needed. And the first version I released, you know, I had a problem with, because it was so much editing. You know, it was crazy editing. And so even people in the comment section, if you look at it, were like, hey, I like this, what the concept is, but where's the rest, man? Where's the rest of the video? So they were complaining to Vice about it all the time. I even emailed Brent from Vice about it and said, hey, man, I saw you release the video, but, you know, you're going to guys release like a longer version. And he said, you know, time will tell, you know, we can do what we got to do, kind of thing. We only can do what we can do. So they released the extended version about 2 days ago. And again, I'll be posting links in the description, so you can check them out if you want. I recommend checking them out and maybe watching before or after, whatever you prefer. But just checking them out and looking at them. So they released the extended version, and the extended version, still edited, by the way, had about another, 35 minutes worth of footage. You know, 35 minutes worth of footage added. So it got more perspective of both sides, you know, the left and the right. They got more, you know, chances to hear our speaking points and all that good stuff like that. And like I said, we did a great job, man. We brought a lot of truth to the table, a lot of facts, a lot of evidence. And, you know, I just think it just showed a difference between the left and the right, not just in the black community, but in the country in general, is which the left is always, they said they play victim. They, you know, always somebody else's fault. They're, you know, it's just that mentality, man. And it shows, especially when you have them side by side debating. And the only issue I have, the biggest issue I had with the extended version, like I said, I enjoyed it because, you know, everybody got more other talking points out there. But the issue I had with it was the fact that if you watch the part where they asked the question, how does welfare affect the black community, or something along like that? I might have a little bit wrong, but if you watch it, two people responded and they moved on to the next question. But I was there, and what happened, if you saw it, I raised my hand pretty quick, like, oh yes, just let me, like, I want to answer. I raised my hand that quick because I had a good answer for that. And the answer that I said was government program, and don't quote me on this totally, because like I said, it was 8 or 9 months ago when we did this, but I said along the lines of, hey, you know, the welfare, government assistance programs have negatively affected the black community, and the reasons why is because if you look at the history of the Democratic Party, they started Planned Parenthood. Margaret Sanger, who was fond with the KKK, she mentioned that she wanted to start Planned Parenthood because blacks were growing like weeds and they had to find a way to eliminate them quicker in another way. So they started Planned Parenthood. Now more Planned Parenthood buildings are in inner city than anywhere else in the country. You know, I mentioned at the party that started the KKK, you know, they were responsible for lynching, segregation, on and on and on. I did a little history lesson about the Democratic Party. And it's funny that even when Vice released the extended version, which is a lot better than the original version, that they still left that part out. And I'm like, I wonder why. Maybe because we're in New York and I just took straight shots at like some of the leftist most prized possessions, most prized possession, which is Planned Parenthood in my opinion. It's pretty much up there. So they decided to keep that out. So I wanted to let you guys know, when you watch the debate, enjoy it. Enjoy what I had to say and what the others had to say, because Rob Smith and Bevel and Fernando all made great points. But when that question comes up, remember I had to answer for that. And they didn't let me, they cut it out. I don't know how else to put it. So just remember that when you're watching the videos. But overall, like I said, I appreciate, you know, the fact that we got our voices, or allowed to get our voices heard at all. Because, you know, they could have easily just kept that in the vault and never released it, or much stuff they could have done with that, or edit to a point where it just made us look like the bad people in the debate and all that stuff. You know how people do they do on the left, man, when it comes to editing. They could have done all kinds of stuff in that video. But, you know, all they did was release a shorter one. And then after the short one came out, people complained, and I give them credit. They listened to the people. They released an extended version. But even in the extended version, there was edits. So just want to give people a heads up. But that's the main topic I want to talk about in today's Walk and Talk, was just bringing up the fact that, you know, I was involved in that debate on Vice. And some of you guys might have already seen it. Some of you haven't already. But if you haven't, I recommend checking it out. You'll enjoy. But, of course, like usual, hope everybody enjoyed today's Walk and Talk and enjoys the rest of their day. So God bless everybody out there. And, of course, like always, God bless America. Adios.